We're going to talk about fonts. So to start off, we're just going to get some letters on the canvas. Let's go ahead and hit the text icon. In the text box, we'll type the word feather. I'm going to move that up, make it a little bigger. And then I'm going to change the name of the font to Feathers. The font defaults to Cricut Sans. So I'm going to click on that little drop-down arrow. You'll see right now it's all fonts. That's what's in my system and in Cricut. This is just Cricut. But since I do not subscribe to Cricut Access, I just want all the system fonts. And I know the name of my font, so I'm going to start typing in Feather and pick that. You can see this is a script font, and we really need all those letters to be touching. We need to kern the letters. That means move them together. I start off by decreasing the letter space. I'm just going to hit the down button. I'm going to keep going until some of the letters have joined. So the E and the A look good, the H and the E look good, and I think the R needs to move just a tad. From this point, I'm going to have to ungroup and move the letters individually. Before I move to ungrouping, I just want to point out that you can curve the letters, but once I ungroup, that's off the table. Let's go ahead and ungroup now. And I'm going to select everything except for the F, and I'm going to use my left arrow to move those over. Using the arrow ensures that you don't move the letters vertically. So if you can use the arrow keys, that's perfect. Now I'm going to grab the T through the end, and I'm going to use my arrow keys to move those. Now the HER. And I believe the R just needs to move a tad, so I'm not going to use the arrow keys. I'm just going to move it with my mouse. All right, that looks really good. So we're going to go ahead and do some things on the mat right now. So I'm going to change my canvas just so you can see things a little better. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit this little square here, and I'm going to delete the grid lines. And then I'm going to come down here where it says blank canvas. I'm going to click on that. That's down in the right-hand corner at the bottom. Then I'm going to go over here where it says color, and I'm going to change it to blue. And I'm going to select all my letters, and I'm going to change my font to white. All right, so from this point, what do I need to do to cut my letters out? If I went ahead and hit make it and went to my mat, you're going to see that my letters are all jumbled. I'm sure that Design Space is putting those on there so I can maximize my vinyl, but that's not going to work for me. Let's go ahead and group them. If I group them, you can see they all stay together, but when I go to the mat, same thing, not in the right order. So I'll cancel out of that, and I can attach them all together. And when I go to the mat, they're in order, but you can see that each letter is cut out individually. We want those all together, so we want to weld them. So let's gather everything. I'm going to make it even bigger so you can see. You'll see these little cut lines. So when I hit weld, it's all one piece. And when I hit weld, it doesn't matter. They don't have to be grouped. They don't have to be attached. I can just weld. There are a couple things you need to know about what happens after you weld. After you weld, if you save, you cannot unweld. If I group or I attach and I save, and then I reopen my project, I'm able to ungroup and detach. But if I weld and I save, and then I reopen my project, I cannot unweld. Also, when you weld, the name of the font goes away over on the right-hand side. Here we see the word feather has been welded. and you just see basic cut. But here you see the word feather, and it has just been attached, and you see text feather. But if I go and I weld this, see the word feather is gone. I can get back to it, and you do that by right-clicking and then going to Image Info. And I'll do that one more time. I'm going to go right here where it says Weld Result. I'm going to right-click. I'm going to go down to Image Info, and there it is.